Greetings friends and fellow aliens, and thank you for stopping by my channel and checking out this video, which is the first in a series of 10 videos that I'm doing. So this is kind of like an advice series, and I'm working on cognitive distortions for this series. This is a pretty fascinating topic to me. I'm a big fan of looking at logical fallacies and arguments. And so things like the straw man argument, et cetera, et cetera. There's a whole bunch of them. And you can look them up. And these are things that have been in place for a very, very long time because we all like to argue, and knowing what some of those fallacies are, so you can just kind of understand somebody else's logic and somebody's reasoning and where that kind of falls apart, and also sort of protect yourself and check yourself and your opinions. Cognitive distortions are more of an internal check on your arguments. So these are distortions in the way that you are thinking. Now look, if you're an INFJ, and if you are, again, congratulations, and I'm sorry, a lot of these are going to ring really true. So trigger warning for a lot of this kind of stuff, because I'm gonna throw these at you and point out that yeah, we all engage in these at some point or another in our life. And look, there's 10 of them. And I'm going to put these videos out just, one every day. So check up on it and see how many of these do you really do? How many of these do you really find are constantly rattling around in your head? And if you can score them, right? Just do it that way and just give it a point for each one. And if by the end of this whole thing you've got 10 points, then you definitely need to work on your internal dialogue, because that's what this is going to point out, is where you are failing yourself in terms of how you are thinking and how skewed your thinking is. The first one on my list is polarized thinking. Now, listen, there are lots of cognitive distortions. I've seen lists of 20 to 25 of these. I've seen lists of like the top 10 and so on and so forth. These are 10 that I picked out that I feel really resonate with people that would stop by my channel and watch this kind of stuff. And those of you who are concerned with how you are thinking, wanting to be more positive, wanting to be stronger moving forward. Polarized thinking is, boy, this is like a crippling one, because this is the tendency to see everything in extremes. Everything is either black or white, right? Polarized thinking eliminates shades of gray from every single argument or everything that you encounter. So something is either completely and totally awful, or it is fantastic. And there's nothing that's kind of in the middle. And this applies to yourself and your own behavior. We'll often see ourselves as a complete and abject failure, or just rocking it and having the most amazing time of our life, without understanding that there are those days and those moments that are in between. This particularly applies to experiences. You may go out and have an experience and think, well, that was the worst experience I've ever had, or this was the best time I've ever had. And if something is mediocre, you'll have a tendency to pull yourselves towards one extreme or another and say, no, this was the worst because this single thing happened, or yes, this was the best because this single thing happened. And understanding that there are shades of gray. There are shades of gray in other people and their behavior, and particularly how they interact with you. And there are shades of gray to yourself. So just because you can't accomplish something does not mean you're the worst person in the world. And just because you can accomplish something doesn't mean you're going to nail it on every try. So it's important to understand those shades of gray. This is especially important when talking with other people, particularly people that disagree with you on something. Now look, I have for a very long time tried not to get into political type discussions, hot button issue type stuff on my channel. But I have a set of opinions, and they're very strong opinions for the things that I believe in and the principles that I have. And it is very obvious to me that if you look anywhere online at this point, be it Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, relatively saved by all this kind of stuff, but mostly Twitter. Let's just pick on them because it's low-hanging fruit and really easy to pick on Twitter because they're awful. If you look at Twitter, it is filled with people exhibiting the exact cognitive distortion of polarized thinking. You are either on my side, or you are just a demon in this world that deserves to be executed. I mean, that's pretty much what Twitter is just people yelling at each other for either being the worst person that humanity has ever seen, or being on my side. Yay. We have to come to grips with the fact that people are complex and complicated, and issues are complex and complicated. And we have different beliefs, different upbringings, and everything else. And so just because somebody holds a particular opinion does not mean that they are the worst person ever, because that opinion is not yours. There is a gray area to this. Somebody can be a really good person all the way around and have an opinion that is completely antithetical to one that you hold. That's okay. Now listen, I'm not going to sit here and lecture you on being a more open-minded individual. You either are or you aren't. And if you aren't, there's nothing that I can say that's going to change anything like that. And I'm not out here to change anybody. But I am out here to point out the fact that a lot of us have taken sides on issues and taken sides in our opinions of people that are completely and totally unwarranted. So I think this is a perfect place to start. Polarized thinking as the first distorted cognitive thing that you have going on in your head. Do you suffer from this, right? Are you somebody that sees things in these extremes, sees things as black or white, sees them as absolutely true or absolutely false, and ignores the gray areas in between and some of the nuance and context that comes with it? Listen, on all of these, I would like to hear your opinions. If this is something that you deal with, or you have dealt with somebody that thinks this way, what is it like? What are the difficulties that you may have thinking like this and stopping yourself from doing it? And what are the difficulties that you have interacting with somebody that thinks in this way, that is just very extreme, black and white, polarized type of thinking? There's lots more videos to come. So this is the first one, and I wanted to do these as a smaller video and just a quicker hit. So please subscribe if you haven't. Check out the additional videos that are to come. The second one on my list is going to be overgeneralization. That should be lots of fun. Pay attention to all of these, and hopefully you get something out of this series. It's going to be in a playlist here on my channel. And just a couple other things. If you haven't already, there is a join button below, and you can join this channel. We have a private Facebook group for members only, where we're just kind of chatting and hanging out and just being friends and having a casual time, which is really, really nice. There's lots of ways to support this channel. In addition to that, there's ways that you can donate. You can buy the book. Where's the book? My book, The Caretaker, is out on Amazon. So please give that a look. Links are in the description and all that kind of stuff. And that's it for this one, coming at you with the second video in this series on overgeneralization. Take care, and I will talk to you soon.